Welcome to the Christian and Crystal podcast. Thanks so much for making the time. We're super excited to have a conversation with you. And on Riverside, so if you haven't, so this is actually our second podcast we're doing on Riverside. We had a whole nother software we were using before that, and then I think you thought it was Zoom because I did tell you we were using Zoom because this previous software wasn't working right. But Riverside's
Mhm.
actually it's a great platform for editing, and there's a lot of AI built into it that you can use for editing your podcast. So far we love it. We
Mhm.
did our podcast with Rachel last week, and
Mhm.
did a lot of editing in Riverside. So
Mhm.
it's pretty good software to use. So but nothing
Yeah,
like your
I've
studio, man.
I've
You have your podcast. Nice, a nice studio that I see you doing your podcast on. So we'll have to jump in your studio next. It's real nice.
you gotta come here and do it live. I have 2 different
Yeah.
studios, this is my office. I'm inside my office, not the studio right now, and, I'm enjoying doing it. I didn't know anything about podcasting till maybe a year and a half ago, by accident. I got into it. I go, "Ooh, I like this," and I started buying equipment and things like that, and I do it for fun. I do it for fun.
That's awesome. What's your podcast called? So for anybody watching, they can go check
So,
out your podcast.
so we have different episodes. We have different playlists. The main one is talking with Jorge, and then I have one that's called Chamber Voices, where I bring the local chambers of commerce, and we interview the chamber, and we highlight one of their members. So we bring them in, and we highlight the member. What their business is, what they do, has the chamber affected their their business, and in a positive way. Then we have another one. It's called "What's Your Story?" When I bring people in and we talk about their
Love it.
story, where they're at now, and how they got there. We have one that I bring the city officials. I have brought the city of Palmdale here, city manager's office, uh, different people to talk about city events, update people of the community and the city, things that are going on. We have one that we started, but we only done one in Espanol. Es conversando con o charlando con Jorge, and
Okay.
that one is supposed to be in Spanish, and the city wants us to do one in Spanish.
Uh,
Then I have another one that is supposed to start last week, but they flaked on me. They didn't show up. It's for the Palmdale Sheriff Station. So once a month, we're bringing some deputies here, and we're going to
love
update the community on different things that the station is doing, and stuff like that. My podcast is all about positive things, nothing negative.
Yes. I
If
love
I
that.
have somebody that wants to come in and complain about the city, complain about something, it's not going to happen. It's only about
Love
positive
it.
things, the good things that are happening in our community. No
Yes.
politics and no
100%.
religion.
I love it. I love it. Good stuff. Good stuff. That's also
Hmm.
the space, we want to create. And I always say,
Yeah,
we talked a lot about that on our last podcast too, is we got to be the change that you want to see, like Palmdale, Antelope Valley, they have this stigma of sometimes a negative rep, but it's just not true. Like there's so many good people here doing positive things. I love the community. I love the leaders here, and there's so many people out here doing wonderful things. And so, similar to you, I just wanted to create a space where I could showcase that, and the
right.
businesses and you're one of those leaders, and so that's why I was like, we need to jump on a podcast because you're a leader here, and anybody who's watching can see that you're very involved in the community in a very positive way. I've never had a negative interaction with you. It's always been positive, and what you're working on, and I follow you on social media, and it's just so great to see. So, but for those who don't know you, how did you get into that space? So I guess this is now your turn for what's your story, right? So so what's your
That's right.
story? And
What
how did
what
and how did you get to be this positive leader in the community? And tell us about that. Tell us about that journey.
All right. So, Jorge Ventura, he's a very positive guy. He's full of life. He enjoys life a lot. He sees every negative thing as a positive thing, as a learning experience. Anything that happens to me that's negative, it happens for a reason. It happens for me to learn and make me a better person, right? So I see everything as a positive. There's always a solution. There's always a way of getting out of things when something negative happens, right? So We first moved into the Antelope Valley back in 1998. When my wife and I came to the Antelope Valley, we knew no one here, not a single soul, no person here, right? And the reason why we moved out here because we used to commute a lot. I used to live in Moreno Valley, and I used to commute to Panorama City every day, right? I did that for 3 years. My wife used to commute from Moreno Valley to Burbank. And we got tired of the drive and all the traffic on the 91 freeway, so we decided let's move closer to Panorama City. So we drove up here and we looked for something in Santa Clarita. We were driving around Santa Clarita and then we say, you know what, let's keep going up north. Let's see what's up in Palmdale. So we drove up to Palmdale and we liked the community. We liked the prices, most of it, the pricing. Back in 98, you could find a house here for $80,000. $100,000, you get a nice home. So we ended
Yeah.
up moving to Palmdale, right? We knew no one here. We still commute to Panorama City. In 2001, I was fed up of, my work and commuting. I worked 30 years retail industry, as a manager. My last job was a general manager for a department store. And I had 300 employees at that one location. I had like 16 managers underneath me. I got fed up, and my wife goes, you know what? Just quit. Quit. Yeah, just quit. I said, okay. So I took her seriously. So on February 14th, on my birthday,
Yeah.
2001, I walked out from my job. I went up to the owner and I gave him the keys. And I said, here's the keys. Where are you going? I said, I quit. He said, you can't quit. I said, yeah, I have to. I quit, 30 years in retail. So he said, no, take some time off, take a month off and come back. Okay. Well, I left. I never went back, you know. So 9 months later, I'm at home doing nothing but watching TV, living off my wife's paycheck, right? And I said, no, I got to do something. I got to get back to work. I got to get a job. I couldn't find anything. So by accident, I got into printing. I got into printing. Somebody asked me to design something for them. And it was a little NCR, an invoice. And I said, yeah, I could do that. So I redesigned it. And I go, here you go. He said, go get a print. I go, I don't have any print shops. He said, well, just look at the phone books. Remember the phone books? So I looked at the phone books and I started looking for print shops. I started calling around and I learned that the proper name for those invoices was called NCR. And I wrote down their prices. And I went to the least expensive one at the time, which was AV Printing. The guy name was Ron Lee. When I took him the artwork, he said, oh, this is nice, nice artwork. Who does the artwork? I go, I do. He said, oh, you're a broker. Okay. I have no idea what a broker was, right? He said, no, the price I gave you, that's retail price. Brokers get a different price. So the light bulb turned on and I said, I could probably do this from home. So that's how I got started. I got into the printing. I didn't know anything about printing. I didn't know anything about graphic design. I didn't know anything about marketing, nothing about the matter. So I learned as I went, and my wife goes, you know how to manage people. So why don't you hire some people that could do the work for you? Okay. So I went to AV College and I hired some students that were taking classes in, graphic design and things like that. So we ended up having 7 graphic designers, and I learned from them as we went. We opened our second location in Lancaster. And so by that time, we had 14 graphic designers. And I learned from them as I went, and then I learned Illustrator, I learned Photoshop. We opened the offices, 2 offices. Eventually, we had 3 locations. We had in Acton, Lancaster, and we had an office in Palmdale. During pandemic, everything was closed. So, we went to work from home. I, turned my garage into a little shop. And after pandemic, we opened back in Palmdale. We only have this location in Palmdale, Ventura Graphics. It's been 25 years since we opened the business,
Wow.
and I'm just having fun. I'm
Yeah.
just having fun. And in the meantime, we are rooted in our community. We met so many people in the last 25 years. We have built so many long-term relationships, with everyone here. I help both left side, the right side. So I'm in the middle, because I service both. Uh, and that's why we don't talk about politics and things like
Yeah.
that, because if I go this way, I lose all this side. If I go that side, I'm going to lose this side right here. So I'm staying neutral,
Yeah.
and I service both and I love both of them, the left and the right side. Same thing with religion. I'm a Christian person,
Yeah.
but in the business, I kind of keep it neutral. because I have customers who are believers, non-believers. I have Jehovah Witnesses, Christians, Catholics. I have everything, you know. So I'm just having fun. It's 25 years of nothing but having fun. This is not a job for me. This is like a hobby. I enjoy it, and I learn as I go. Like I said, earlier we were talking about the podcast. I have my studio here. And about a year and a half ago or so, I was homesick and I was watching TV and I'm changing channels and somehow I came up across YouTube. So I started watching YouTube and then there was a video about podcasting. So I started watching the video about podcasting and how much money they make, they get monetized and this and that. And I'm like, hmm. So I started watching them and I said, hey, I could probably do that. So I went and I bought some equipment. It was the wrong equipment to buy, for me. I had it for some time, for maybe a month or two. And I said, no, this is not going to work. It's not going to do what I wanted to do. And the more I watch YouTube, the more I learn about the equipment, what cameras to buy, what mixers to buy. So it was a trial thing. So I've been doing the podcast now for about a year and a half. I'm enjoying, about a year and a half. I'm enjoying myself. We're building more relationships, stronger relationships with the community. And it's all about positive things, about things that can affect us in a good, positive way within our community. And that's what we talk about at our podcast, just positive things. If you're someone who's negative and going to come in and just complain about things, I'm not going to do it. I want someone that's going to come in and maybe talk about an issue and what can we do to fix it, to get it better. That's what the podcast is about. But that's who I am. That's who Jorge Ventura is.
I love that. I love that, man. That is absolutely amazing. So I mean, I have so many questions. So I mean, we're very new in developing our relationship, but our paths have crossed so many times, and as you've mentioned, you're such a strong leader in the community, and I think I first met you uh on the tourism board with Visit Palmdale. You had showed up to a meeting. That's where I met you and your wife. Um, and then I saw you guys at church and networking events. You're just all over the place, And so I follow you on social media, and
Hmm.
exactly how you said, you're very positive. You're very neutral, and that's one of the things that I really respect about you is how positive and how neutral you are, and it's all just love, like you're like, it's okay, like you have a safe space here no matter your political views or religion, and I've seen that through just being, acquaintances with you, and I'm looking forward to building more of a friendship with you, and that's why I wanted to jump on this
Hmm.
podcast and really get to know you, but I've seen that, and people are always going to be critics. They're always going to have something to say, and I see some of those comments on the things you post, uh, and I respect so much how neutral you are in your response and respectful that you are, no matter what they're saying, and some of them are like, kind of out there, and I'm like, what's Jorge gonna say about this, and you're always like, boom, it's okay. That's okay. You're okay to comment here. It's okay to have that opinion, and I respect it. It's just so neutral, so respectful, and so you're not just you really meet it shows that positivity, that neutral, it really shows, and it's really a part of who you are, and I really respect that. And so thank you for everything you're
Yeah,
doing for our community
absolutely.
and leading like that.
Sometimes I have to bite my tongue, and look the other way.
Yeah,
I got to do
for
that.
sure.
Yeah, we met, Visit Palmdale. Before Visit Palmdale, we started that group about probably 9, 10 years ago. And it was a hotel association here. And we used to have meetings, and Sylvia Magallanes from the city of Palmdale is the one who started that. So we used to be in that committee before it became Visit Palmdale.
Right.
And we met with all the hotels and we used to rotate the meetings. Sometimes we would meet at the Hilton, we'll meet at the
Yeah.
Embassy Suites, or we meet at City Hall at the city of Palmdale, and to talk about the tourism and things like that.
Mhm.
And then pandemic came, so the meetings stopped happening. And then after pandemic, it came back as Visit Palmdale. But I remember
Right.
the discussions about Visit Palmdale before Visit Palmdale came out, on the website and things like that. And at one point, I thought about maybe I should take over that job because they wanted somebody to do the website and to host a website.
Right.
And I thought about taking that job over, and then I said, no, I won't have the time to do it. So, and then I think they found somebody else to do it. But yeah, I love Visit Palmdale. It's a great organization. I know that you're part of that.
Yeah.
After pandemic came, we found out about the meeting starting all over, and there was a committee, and I wanted to be on the board, and somebody said no because we already selected people for that.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Yeah.
I love Visit Palmdale. It's a great thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And I know we sponsor some of your events, and one of my favorite events is your event. It's the AV Taco Fest. I went for the first time last year. I
Last
took
year.
my daughter. Oh yeah, yeah, I ran into you there. First that was my first
Mhm.
time there, and it's one of my favorite events out here. I was just talking about it with some of my colleagues. It's June 6th this year, right? Is that correct? Do I have that right?
That is correct. It's June 6th. The Taco Festival, when we were in the committee before Visit Palmdale, I did a presentation to the Hotel Association about how we were going to do it. My wife and I worked on that event 3 years before we had our very first event. I think it was 2017 when we had the first one or something like that. But we worked 3 years prior to that, putting it together. And I want to thank Mr. Ledford. He used to be the mayor back at the time because he opened the door for us at the city of Palmdale. Because of him, we were able to step into the city and do a presentation. We show, presentation to the hotel association. We showed it to city manager, and we were able to get the support from the city of Palmdale to have it. At the very beginning, there was a lot of no's. Oh, we want to do this. Nope. Oh, we want. Nope. We want nope, nope, because we had no history. Now we have a history, and we've had it for I don't know if this is our ninth year, 10th year doing the taco festival coming up. And every year we add something different to it. And as of today, we haven't had a single incident. It's a family oriented event. So every year we're adding things to it, right? So when we first added the beer, we had a hard time because we wanted to sell alcohol. The mayor at the time wanted us to sell tequila, but Parks and Recs wouldn't allow us. Insurance, blah blah blah. So I think after the second year, we were selling the alcohol, and we fenced the entire park,
Yep.
and we had no issues. Now we have tequila in there. We had tequila last year. We got margaritas, no issues. We added lucha libre. The first time, the lucha libre, Mexican wrestling, they didn't want us to have it. We finally brought it in. There was no issues. I believe last year or the year before, we had the female wrestlers. We had the little people wrestlers, right? This year, we're going to have the lucha libre. We are also adding this year BMX stunts,
No
bicycles.
way.
So we're gonna have 120 feet by 30 feet of bicycles, a track, and they're gonna be jumping and making flips in the air and things like that. So we're adding that. We're also adding a mechanical bull, which we didn't have before.
I'm gonna have to
Imagine
see you
that.
get on that. I'm gonna have to see you get on that.
Uh, it's not for senior citizens.
That's awesome.
So we're adding that. We have a big area for the kids. We have the petting zoo. Also, we have a lot of jumpers. We have live bands uh, from opening to close, and we have all different music. We start with rock and roll, classic rock, country. Then we go into bilingual with Selena imitator. We have a Seven Switch that's bilingual music, and then we're going to close it at the end with Spanish music, salsa, cumbia, and
Love it.
music like that. So it's a
Love
fun
that.
thing for the whole family.
So, what are some behind the scenes, like activities or things that you have to do when running this event that people might not be aware of, just to have
Well,
it feel?
it's putting the whole thing event. It takes a few months to do it. The fencing, we got to contact the fencing company. We go out there and we have to measure the whole area, and the fencing costs about $4,000 to put together. We have to
Mhm.
hire security. The Palmdale Sheriff's Department, it's our security. Then we also have another security company. We have to get all the vendors together. Last year we had 125 vendors. This year we want to have 150 vendors. So we get all the vendors together. They fill out an application online. We go through all the vendors. We want to make sure that what they're selling, what they're offering, it's legal stuff and it's safe, nothing illegal, right? We want to make sure that everybody has insurance in there, so we have to request for that. We have to submit an application to the health department. The health department costs like $500-600, depends on how many vendors we have. Actually, last year the health department application was $1,200, right? So we had a little bit over 30 food vendors last year, and we're gonna plan to have the same number of food vendors this year, right? We have a contract with Anheuser-Busch for the alcohol, for the beer and things like that. We have to do a planogram where we set all the vendors on a map, and all of that has to be submitted to planning for the city of Palmdale. We submit that to the health department also. We have to have waste management come in and bring the restrooms. We have to have X number of restrooms for food vendors and X number of restrooms for the public. We have to have wash stations for the vendors and for the public. So it's a lot of things to go on behind the scenes. It's
Wow.
not just about putting it together and but it's fun. I enjoy doing it. I really enjoy doing it. I've learned from putting them together. We went 3 years prior to having our event. We went to other events. My wife and I went to the Arizona Taco Festival. We even volunteer there so we can learn the insights of what they do.
Love that.
Uh, we have gone to other taco festivals, the tamale festival, this festival, that festival, just so we can get an idea and learn what people like over there, so that we can bring to our community here in the Antelope Valley. So it's fun. It's a lot of work, but it's fun for me to do it.
It's amazing. And I really mean that. It's one of my favorite events. I mean, I memorized the date. I knew it was June 6th because me and my daughter are looking forward to it. Hopefully you can join us this year too. I know she was with the baby last year, but it's so fun. And so I want to go back to, so first of all, it's just there's so much you have to do, and thank you so much for doing all of that work so we can have these positive family friendly events. It's so important
Hmm.
to the culture of Palmdale, the Antelope Valley. You make such a positive impact. It's not something you say, it's something you do, and I just really respect that. And so I personally went last year for the first time. It's one of the events that I'm I'm not just saying this, had the most vendors of any events that I've been to out here. It had the most vendors,
Hmm.
great
Hmm.
tacos, great drinks,
Hmm.
great entertain there was something to do everywhere. It didn't matter where you went.
Yes.
I felt safe, comfortable. I had a blast. We were there for hours. Entertainment, drinks, food, desserts, tacos, vendors. I met a vendor there who was now doing my daughter's braces. Great event. And so thank you so much for doing that. And
I'm looking for.
yeah, for sure. And
Oh,
Jorge
no.
did not pay me to say all that. This is not sponsored. That was a
Right.
real review from a real
See.
attendee. Yeah. So it's one of my favorite events. I'm really looking forward to it this year, June 6th. And so, but thank you so much. I mean, it's such a great event, and it's really fun. And you could tell that you put that much effort into that event. It's a great event. So thank you. Really, thank you for that.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a win-win situation, because all the vendors enjoy it. They get to generate some business, they get to generate relationship with the community, right? They get to expose their products to the community. We get a lot of the nonprofits out there also. A lot of them, they don't pay for the booth. We gift the booth to them, and some pay a lower, fee. And they really enjoy it. The nonprofit organizations really enjoy it. It's just a win-win thing for everyone. The food vendors, they have lines. Some of them are sold out because they weren't prepared. They didn't think it was going to be this packed.
For sure. Yeah,
We shouldn't say this for fire department reasons, but we usually get about 10,000 people a day there. But if they were to ask me, we get 9,999. Because if we say 10,000, then it's a different thing.
requires a different. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
So I mean,
yeah. But we
great
we
event.
yeah we get about 10,000 people throughout the day, in and out all day long.
Love that. Love that. That's awesome.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
Great event, and thank you so much for putting that on for our community and leading the way you do. So, June 6th, if you guys want to see Jorge on a mechanical bull, that's where it'll be happening. June
I'm
6th.
too fat
We're
for that bull, man. I'm too fat for the bull.
we gotta make that happen. So
We gotta have a heavy duty bull for me, an
yeah.
elephant.
I know. Oh man. I'll probably do it. I might do it.
I will do it.
You will do it? Yeah.
I'll do
She'll
it.
do it.
Yeah.
I'll probably do it too.
Yeah,
That's fun. I'm really
yeah,
looking forward to it.
yeah.
You also had
Yeah.
this last year you had your own AV Taco Fest beer. I think that the first year you guys did
I
that?
did. It
It
is
was
the
really
first time
good
that we
too.
had our own private label cerveza. I believe we're gonna have it again this year. It's the AV Taco Festival beer. It has our logo in it. It is done for us by Avery Brewery up in Lancaster.
AV Brewery?
Avery Brewery.
Avery. Okay. Do
Mm-hmm.
they
Mm-hmm.
also, I could be wrong,
And it's
do they also, I don't think I am. I think they also sell that beer at the AV Alta soccer game.
yes.
They do, huh?
Yes, it's the same beer with our label. Yeah, we came out with it, and then
Yeah.
I think the first one that came out with it was Fat Boy's Tacos. He had his
Okay.
own beer, and then I came out with it, and then AB Alta came out with it. We used the Mexican Lager, which is
Yes.
it's a pretty good beer. Mm-hmm.
It's very good. So I drank it at your AV Taco Festival. That was the first time I
Mm-hmm.
tried it. It was very good. I think I told you there. I was like very good, clean. It was just really refreshing. And then I saw it
There's
again because I go to almost all the AV Alta games. And I saw it was there, and I was like, all
Mhm.
right, I'm gonna drink it here too. So I had it
Yeah,
there. Great beer. It's great. So great job on that.
yeah,
That's awesome.
especially when it's nice and cold.
Yes, for sure. 100%.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So there's so much you do, for the community. You've been here since 98. What motivates you to stay so involved in the community?
You know, I don't know. Just the be part of the community, be part of something, be able to give back. It motivates me. I was having this conversation with my son about 2, 3 weeks ago, and I told him, Jonathan, money doesn't motivate me at all. Money helps, but money does not motivate me at all. I don't know if it's the attention or being involved with things that motivates me. Be able to do positive things, and I enjoy watching other people having a good time
Yeah.
when I put something together. I love helping the small business owners when I can also. I'm a past president for the Antelope Valley Hispanic Chamber of Commerce. I'm also a past president for the Acton and the Agua Dulce Chamber of Commerce. I've been a director of all the chambers of commerce out here except the Black Chamber of Commerce. I'm a member there though, but I get involved. I'm on the board at the YMCA. I'm the president for the Palmdale Sheriff's Boosters.
Okay.
This is my 6th year as president there, and I just enjoy it. Just being able to be part of the community. We do 2 events for the Sheriff's Department. Coming up in April, we do what is called Love My Ride Car Show. It's a big, huge car show. We close the entire Palmdale Auto Mall on a Sundays. I think it's April 26th coming up, and we do a car show. We have more
Love
cars on display than the Palmdale than the Auto Mall together. We have vendors. We try to put food trucks at every auto dealer. We put 3 food trucks at every auto dealer. We have like 75 vendors there. It's a big community event. We also do in October we do the trunk or treat event for the sheriff's department, and that's a huge community event where all the kids come out, dressed in costumes and things like that, and it's a car show. It's a big event. This past year, what we actually did is we closed Sierra Highway. Sierra Highway is a big traffic street,
Yep.
but we closed Sierra Highway from Avenue Q all the way to Q6. The city allowed us to close the street, and we had lots of vendors, car show, lots of activity, bands, everything. And it was a street event, and people loved that. And we also had a haunted jailhouse. We converted the jail, the Palmdale Station jail, into a big haunted house. We have a big production company. That's all they do. They go around the country building haunted houses. So we built the jailhouse
Awesome.
into a haunted house, and it was top-notch production. We got all the inmates. They were sent to the Lancaster jail for the weekend, and they spent the weekend in Lancaster. We cleaned up the jail and turned it into a haunted house. It was
That's
great.
awesome.
It was really scary. Yeah. So that's in April and that's in October. We also have Cesar Chavez Day coming up on March 28th. It's our fourth annual Cesar Chavez Day. We do it at Yellen Park, with the city of Palmdale. In May, we have Music and Kids Day. We get kids in, Gabriel's Day. It used to be Gabriel's House. Now it's called Music and Kids. It's a nonprofit organization. We get kids and, after school programs, and, they teach them how to play instruments, musical instruments, and how to sing. So on May 16th, we do the Music and Kids Day, and it's a fundraiser. And 100% of the proceeds that we get, it goes to music and kids so that they can buy instruments and, pay for, teacher instructors to teach the kids how to do this. So we do a lot of events. We do a couple of mixers. We do a super mixer. We're going to do it on, I think it's July 26 over at the Legacy Commons, and we have the Chambers of Commerce involved. And whatever proceeds are generated from the AV Super Mixer, it goes back to the chambers. It's
Love
distributed
it.
evenly between them.
Love that.
And that motivates me, just being able to help here and there, little things.
Amazing.
What are some things that you think that the AV could benefit from right now, or what the AV kind of needs right now?
Needs more of. Needs more
Wow,
of.
what are some of the things that the AV needs more of? We need more unity.
Mm,
Right now, there's a lot of division,
yeah.
and we need to be united. We need to be more unity to make it a stronger community. Go to participate in the events, and let's just unite and work together on things. You know, I think that's probably one things that we need.
That's so good. Yeah.
100%. That passion shows through everything it's really amazing how much you do. I actually did not know until you explained right now how much you're involved in the community. Like, I knew you were a leader in the community, but that's a lot. That's a lot that you do. That's a 100%. I mean, you are a very positive impact to this community, and like I said, I have, you know, so much respect for that. But what's so you've been here since 98. I was 6. Not to date or anything. You've been here
You were
since
still wearing
98.
you were still wearing diapers.
Yeah. I was still in diapers. So you've been here since 98. Uh Man, there's so much you've seen since 98, right? From the growth of the community, right? But what would you say, what's
Mhm.
some advice you would give somebody right now, starting out? So you said you were not from the AV, you didn't know anybody. What's some advice you would give somebody who's like, thinking of maybe starting a business here or moving here? What's some advice you would give them starting out in the AV?
So the first thing is, don't be afraid. Don't be afraid to do something. Just do it. If you fall, get up and wipe yourself and keep going forward. Be positive about it, because you're going to learn. It's going to make you a stronger person, right? And then be involved with as many things as you can, because you need to learn. You need to meet people, right? So if you're starting a new business here, right, do it. Don't be afraid. Don't think about it. Just do it. Okay. Go out there, jump in, learn how to swim. Okay. Get involved with all the chambers of commerce that are out there. At one point, we used to have 7 chambers of commerce. There's 3 major active chambers of commerce right now, which is the AV chambers, the Hispanic chamber, and the Corsial Chamber of Commerce. Get involved with at least one of them. In a couple of months, join another one, and then join the third one. Okay. Each chamber has a lot of different events. They have mixers, they have breakfasts, they have luncheons, they have seminars, right, workshops, and things like that. You need to get involved. You need to go out there and meet other people, okay? Because those other people are also new and getting their feet wet, just like you are, right? Make sure that you have plenty of business cards, pass out business cards to as many people as you can. Don't be stingy with your cards. And I think my camera just went out.
Because you're bringing the fire, man. That's why it happened. That's why your camera overheated. You're
Let me
bringing the
see how this
fire.
one's going. Let me see how this one's going to look, because it has a different lens to it too.
You're good. Take your time. No worries. I love this, man. I love when this stuff happens. This is how it works. This is entrepreneurship. You just push through, you find a solution and you keep going. You know that better than anybody.
Oh, we can see.
Is the
Look
video
at
come
that.
back?
Yes.
Welcome back.
A different camera.
You're good. You look clear. I love it. I think it
Huh?
works.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
worked? Yeah.
Yeah, you look
Okay.
good. You look good,
So
man.
where were we?
So I can go into another
Sure.
question. Oh, kind of, did you ever have a time that you had like kind of a difficult season and you weren't really sure like where if you wanted to continue with it? And could you provide maybe any advice for people that are business owners kind of going through that season right now?
So did I ever had any time where I had a difficult time? Is that the question?
Yeah.
Wanted to quit maybe?
Yeah.
Like a time maybe you wanted to, because there's so much you do, right?
Mhm.
You're a strong leader in the community. I mean, you've shared so much that you do. You've shared the why that you do it. You've shared how passionate you are. And so everybody sees all this. So what about a time you wanted to quit? Was there a time you wanted to quit? And
Or maybe had to pivot.
yeah, or there was a tough season, and how did you push through that?
So I can't think of any time that I wanted to quit.
That's
I
good.
really can't. You
Mhm.
know, as a kid, my dad taught me that I'm not a quitter.
Mhm.
You know, my dad taught me, and that's probably the reason why I'm so positive because of my father. You know, he taught me that I was number one all the
Mhm.
time,
Okay.
that I had
Well,
to be a winner of everything I do, that I couldn't quit, that I'm not a quitter, you know, and that I have to keep going forward, right? My first job, you know, I had other little jobs, but my first, real job, you know, back in 1980, you know, I went through a sales training, you know, before I became a sales manager. And they taught us when there was an issue, when there was a problem, you know, you can't quit, you can't give up and throw in the towel. You have to find out what's the problem, what's causing the problem, and then what's the best solution for the problem, right? To fix your problem. And I remember we had to write down like three solutions to this problem. What's causing this
wow.
problem? And what is the solution to the problem? Write three things down. And out of those three things, which is the better one? You know, and go out there and try to fix it, you know. So as a business owner, you know, I'm sure that there's a lot of difficult times, but I cannot recall any moment that I wanted to throw in the towel in this type of business, in the business that I'm in, you know, because I don't know, I've always had fun with the business. You know, I've always had a good time meeting people, talking to people. And I, honest to God, I can't recall wanting to throw the towel in.
I
I
love that.
can't.
That's amazing, actually. That not too many people could say that, you know? So I think that just goes to show how strong your why is, right? How passionate you are, and that it's about having fun. So so many times throughout this podcast, you've discussed just having fun. You know, you're like, I do this for fun, and it's just about having fun. And so I think there's a quote that says, if you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. You know, so I
That's
think
right.
I think you're a good example of that. All you've been talking about is having fun, you know, and look at the positive impact you're making on our community and you know, just all the wonderful things that you do. But fun keeps being brought up and said, and I think that that's the key. If you love what you do, you never work a day in your life. And I haven't met too many people that have said, "I've never thought about throwing in the towel," so that speaks volumes to you, man, so kudos to that, that's awesome. Because I think about quitting
Thank you.
a lot. So no, so I try to have fun too, you know, so, you know, that's what this podcast is about, and I love all the conversations we have, and, I love being a part of the community and meeting people like you, and, I feel blessed, you know, we feel blessed to be such a part of such a great community, um, and that's what we wanna showcase, and that's what this podcast is about, and that's what, you
Hmm.
know, everything we do is about, and we try to showcase the positive things about the Antelope Valley despite what AV Scanner says or, you know, anything says about our it's a beautiful community 100%. And and
Right.
I will stand by that any day. Like, you can fight me on that. Like,
You know,
this is a great community.
if you think If you think positive, and always doing positive things, positive things come to you.
Right?
Positive and happy things happen to you. If you're the type of person that's always complaining, you're always nagging about life, you're always doing, negative things come to you. You will attract negative things in your life.
100.
And you're going to
Wayne Dyer
continue to complain the rest of your life.
Wayne Dyer, one of my favorite quotes, Wayne Dyer says, when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. And
Right.
that's it right there. So if you just change the lenses that you look at whatever problem or trials and tribulations you might be going through, if you change the way you look at things and you look at them through a positive lens, the things you look at begin
Hmm.
to change too. And that goes for anything. That goes for your marriage, your business, whatever, relationship, your career, anything. Change the lenses and how you look at that, and the things you look at will
That's right.
change it. So, um, yeah, I mean, I love it, man. I love it. So, we always like to do you've been here since 98, okay?
Hmm.
Um, as you know, my wife and I, we run a real estate business, so where we blend
Hmm.
traditional and creative finance. So
Hmm.
you've lived in Palmdale since 98. You have your businesses here. You own your home here. You are a leader here. Uh, Tell me about the Antelope Valley and Palmdale and why businesses should bring their business here, why families should move here. What do you think, in your opinion, makes us stand out from the rest of the country or California?
So, first of all, the Antelope Valley, it's a very affordable place to live. If you compare the Antelope Valley to San Fernando, to LA County, to any other, place, you get a lot more value, a lot more for your buck up here in the Antelope Valley. Yeah, the houses are expensive here now. You got $500,000 homes, $1 million homes here in Palmdale, but if you're going to buy a $500,000 home here versus a $500,000 home in San Fernando area, you're going to get a shack in San Fernando area. Over here, you can get a, 2,700 square foot home,
For
3,200 square
sure.
foot home,
Yeah.
4 or 5 bedroom home. In San Fernando area, there's no parking. You're gonna go visit your grandma. You're gonna park 2, 3 blocks away and walk, or get an Uber. Park, at Albertsons and get an Uber to
Yeah.
your grandma's house.
Tell
Over
them.
here, you get plenty of parking, right?
Yes.
Am I right or wrong?
You're
There's
100%
plenty
right.
of parking. Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
you can park. In our house, we can park. There's no room in the garage because it's full of junk, but we can park 4 cars on the driveway, and then the street,
Yeah.
there's plenty of parking, right?
Mhm.
The community is very tight. People know each other. You go to the supermarket and you run into customers, you run into your neighbors and things like that, and people are very friendly. Good
Yeah.
morning, hi, how are you? It's very nice. Yeah, we have certain areas that are not as pleasant as other areas, and there's going to be crime no matter where you go, no matter where you live.
Just like
There's
everywhere.
going to
Yep.
be some bad areas, right? But there's some very nice areas out here. There's lots of parks out here, very nice parks. We have lots of retail, we have lots of restaurants. There's nothing that we want that's out there that we might not have. We have everything pretty much except for Nordstrom's, but we have pretty much everything out here. There's a lot of events to do, a lot of activities. There's a lot of things
Yeah.
here in the Antelope Valley, and it's a great value.
Yeah. For sure.
It's just
I
a place
grew
to be.
if 100%. I mean, I was born in Anaheim, California, and I grew up a lot in Victorville, Adelanto. So
Hmm.
coming out here, there's so much to do. I just like events. There's things to do all the time. There's so many events and
Right.
more coming, and it's just very, very focused on the events and the community. And so you're absolutely right. That was spot on. Spot on.
Hmm.
So yeah. What would you say is next for Jorge? What projects are you working on? Um, what's next for you? Where are you focused? What's next?
Retirement. You know, I just turned 64. You know, was it yesterday? I think I just turned
Oh,
64.
happy birthday,
I
by the
feel
way.
like
I know
my
you mentioned February
Thank you.
14th,
Thank
right?
you.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Happy
yeah.
birthday. You look great, by the
I
way, for 64. I hope I'm this
Thank
active
you.
I look this great and I'm impacting my community this much at 64 as well. I want to be you when I
Look at
grow up. Oh, that looks
all
good. That
this
looks
gray.
great. I have
He's
some
looking
It's
forward to the gray.
I'm looking for that's what
I
I was
look
wanted to show you. I don't have much, but
I,
when my hair grows out, I see some wisdom, like I see some gray.
uh,
And I'm like, look, I look
I
like
look
I know
like
what I'm
Kenny
talking
Rogers.
about. Yeah. And so I wanna what is it called? It's silver fox. I wanna like you're a
Silver,
silver fox, man. I wanna be
it's
I
all
wanna be a
natural.
silver fox when I grow up. I wanna look like Jorge, man.
It's all
So
de
you look great.
carnitas
You look
tacos.
great. Yeah. I
No,
love it, man.
I went to the Social Security Administration and I filled out all my paperwork for early retirement. And they called me up and they said, we need to see you. You need to come in, and we need you to bring your birth certificate. We need your ID. Okay. So I went in there last week on Thursday. They wanted to see me because in the system they have me since 1980 as a female. And I said, last
Wow.
time I checked, I was a male. I've been a male all this time. I'm not there yet. I'm not there
Damn.
yet. So they
They
fix it up.
they
They fix
transitioned
me up.
you
I'm a
without
male.
permission. That's
Yeah,
crazy.
yeah. They didn't even ask. They didn't even
They
ask.
didn't even they don't ask nowadays. They just do it. That's
As a female, do
crazy.
I get more money?
No way. Wow.
Yeah, yeah. So anyway, they fixed it. I'm officially a male now. In
That's
their
good.
system, right?
Yeah. Welcome
And
back.
so I'm looking forward to retirement, but not stop doing what I'm doing. I will continue to do it, maybe less, maybe not come to the office as much as I do. I have good stuff. I have Rafael and I have Martin. They can run the office for me, And I just became a grandfather last year, right? Uh,
Congrats.
so enjoyed my grandchildren more. I have two grandkids. I have Anakin, who's a little boy. He's going to be 2 years in September, and he lives here in Palmdale. And I have
Right.
Amethyst, who is a year and a half now. She's going to be 2 years, Taco Festival Day, June 6th, June 7th.
Right.
And she lives in Arizona, so maybe I'll take more trips to Arizona and, get to spend some time with my granddaughter and more time with my grandson, you know. But that's the projects, try to enjoy more family time, more quality time with the
Love
grandkids.
that.
What can we do as a community to kind of support you and support one another on the mission to um, just kind of build up our community?
So, get involved with the stuff that I do, come to my events, and help me promote the events on social media. Whenever you see an event that we do with, Taco Festival or any of the other events that we do, share the post. The more people that see it, the more people that will know, that will attend and have a good time. Um, that's pretty much it. With our business, with Ventura Graphics, we've been 25 years in the business. 80% of my customers are realtors. We service a lot of the real estate community out here, and it's just word of mouth, and yeah, it's pretty much it. Have a good time. You see me at the supermarket, say
Yep.
hi.
Yep. So absolutely. As you know, we're gonna support you. I will be at the AV Taco Fest and I see you at all the events and all the networking events. You have my support. Jorge Ventura has my vote. So, I love it. But I actually want to touch on that. So you said 85% of your clients for the Ventura Graphics, 85% are realtors? Is that what you said?
Yes, 80% of my customers are real estate, whether they're lenders, escrow, or realtors.
Okay. So what do they come to you for?
So they come for signs, they come for marketing materials like business cards, door hangers, flyers, brochures and things like that. They come for banners. We do a lot of the signs. We do the yard signs, the open house signs. We do a lot of the commercial signs, the big 4x8 signs. And about 5 years ago, we started the installation company, SoCal Sign Installations, and we decided that it wasn't enough money for me and my partner, so we decided to give it to him. So we gave him, here's the keys, here's the website, here's everything, all the password, it's all yours. You keep it, we don't want anything. We're going to keep referring customers to him, so we do the installations of the real estate signs also. from
Wow.
Acton all the way to Tehachapi and Bakersfield.
Love
It's no
that.
longer my company, but I started that business, and we
Yeah.
support Ken with the installation. So yeah, pretty much a lot of things that we do. It's for the realtors. We also have a podcast. Let's talk real estate, and I bring the real estate community out here, and we're talking to realtors. My first one was Gavar. At that time, I brought the president of Gavar, and I brought another people on the board, and we talked real estate, here in the podcast room in the studio. And there's different components for a real estate transaction. It's not just a realtor and a lender.
Oh,
You have, like, I don't know, 10, 15 different departments, in order to complete a real estate transaction, right? You need an appraiser. You have the guy who, what do you call it? Who goes and checks out that everything's okay in the house. I'm losing my
inspector?
word of thought here right now. Yeah, the home inspector. You got the
Yeah.
termite guy, right?
Yeah.
Uh, then you have the lender, you have the realtor, you have escrow, you have
Yes.
all different type of people
Yes.
involved in a real estate transaction. So I have brought some of those people here, and we have talked, the conversation. Why are you important in the real estate transaction? How come we
Yes.
need an escrow officer? Why? And explain
Yes.
to us what escrow is. We want to educate the community on the real estate transaction and all the different
Love that.
aspects there are, all the different departments that are involved in that transaction.
Love that. I
You
love
know.
that. That's amazing. Absolutely so much needed and amazing what you do. And absolutely we will thank you for asking. Would love to be on your podcast. Um
Yeah.
I just threw
We
myself
gotta
out there.
flip the
Yeah.
coin.
She's like, where was that question? No,
No,
yeah.
we did. We talked about it in October. I saw him up at the church,
Yeah.
and I came
Uh-huh.
up to
Yeah, yeah.
him and
You
I
did.
pat him in the
Yeah.
back and I said, "Hey, when are you gonna be in the podcast? I want you to come to the
Yes.
podcast. We need to have a podcast here."
Absolutely.
But
Yeah.
he said, "Yeah, yeah, yeah." So
Yeah,
we'll do it. We
for
gotta
sure.
pencil you
So,
in.
yeah, no, we would love to be on your podcast as well. Um, in whatever aspect you would like us to be, real estate or what's your story, or it sounds like there's different components, but we would love to be on your podcast. Uh even from the real estate, as you know, like I said, we blend creative finance, which it's not talked about a lot, but there is a lot of non-traditional legal ways to become a homeowner or get into the real
Mhm.
estate investing or real estate space without the traditional way to do it. And that's a lot about what we teach. So, we would love to jump on a podcast and talk about that, or just share our story
Mhm.
and be on your podcast. So beautiful space you have, by the way. Do you rent that space out, or it's just for you to?
Yes, I have. I had a couple of customers come in and they rent the space out. So
Okay,
what we do is we rent it. We have 6 cameras there. We can record, six microphones, 6 cameras,
that's
and
amazing.
we can give them their separate 6 different files for each camera, so they can go out there and do their own
Uh,
editing. Or I can do the editing for them myself. I became an editor. I learned how to edit now. I didn't know how to
love
do
it.
that before. So I do my own editing. When I do my podcast, you'll see that there's nobody there running the cameras. I have my laptop right here. I have my switcher right here. I have my mixer here for the microphones here. So I control everything. I do
Mhm.
the editing, I do the recording, I set up the cameras, the audio, everything. I'm a one man show.
I
It's
love
fun.
that. I love that. You're awesome.
So
You're
yeah, so
awesome.
I rent the space to some attorneys. They have come and they done some video and they taken the files with them and do whatever they want to do with them. And then there's some real estate companies that have come out here and used the studio to do their thing too. And I done the editing for them, so I do rent it for that. But when it's my podcast that I bring you in as a guest, there is absolutely no charge.
Love it. I love that. So, um, you guys have heard it here. Jorge is the guy to know for just about anything. And thank you so much. Thank you so much for everything you do to impact the community in such a positive way, and for being a leader. And I truly mean I'm really looking forward to developing our friendship with you and building that relationship. And I mean, it's a blessing and honor to know you. Uh and I'm glad our paths have crossed, so many
Mhm.
times. And I think it's for a reason, and I think we're gonna do some great things
Absolutely.
together. So thank you so much. So last question: How can how can anybody who's watching find you, follow you, um, support you?
You can find me at my second home, Facebook,
There you
Jorge
go. Yep.
Ventura. You'll see me there, right?
Yep.
I'm on Facebook a lot, posting, or doing things, but the website for here is venturagraphics.com. We're located right here in the heart of Palmdale, 918 East Palmdale Boulevard. My office is open Monday through Friday from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We're off on the weekends, but if you go to Facebook and you look for Jorge Ventura, you'll find me there, and you can message me there, anything that I can help, any questions, I'm happy to help.
Love it. Awesome. That's great, man. Thank you so much, Jorge. It's been an honor. Looking forward to building with you, growing the community with you, and the next episode will be in your studio, and you could catch us on Jorge's podcast, and we're looking forward to seeing you guys there.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's an honor
Of
being
course.
here with you guys. It's fun talking with you guys, and we'll see you around town.
Yes, we will most definitely see you. We'll see you on Sunday
Yes.
at
Church.
church. Awesome. Love it.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. Thank you. We appreciate you.
Thank you.
You got it. Take care.
Have a
Thanks
good
a
one.
lot.